Hey y'all, I'm Hope, and today I'm putting together my July TBR. I'm doing this fairly early this month because of just a series of life circumstances. I have company coming for the next week. I'm going to be working on my thesis for the next little while, scheduling a meeting with my thesis advisor, things like that. And then I'm also preparing for a family reunion in July. My grandmother passed away in December, so my family is doing a get-together for that as a kind of memorial kind of a thing. And so I'm going to be doing that in July as well. So just for all of these various circumstances, I decided to go ahead and film this very early so that I have this kind of set aside, ready to go. I don't have to worry about it later. And I'm just going to keep my fingers crossed that I do still want to read the books that get picked today when July comes around. But I think I will. Because I have a couple of things that I'm planning for that I'm going to try and include here. The main thing is that the same week that my family is having our little reunion is Summerween. And I'm definitely planning to participate in Summerween. In fact, my family is going to be gathering at a cabin in the woods, so it's going to be perfect for Summerween because it's going to be like spooky. So I'm pretty excited about that, and that's the one thing that I kind of already have some books picked out at the back of my mind for that thing, or for that event, that readathon. Why did I call it a thing? I don't know. Brain is not operating at optimal levels today. Anyway, that's kind of the one thing I have semi-planned, and other than that, I am planning to play my TBR Betrayal game as usual, and I think let's just go find out what the board is going to give me, and we will figure out where to go from there. As usual, we'll start with finding out what character we're playing this month, which is number 4, and that's Maya from the Goblin Emperor, whose knowledge stat is 4. So I need to have 4 books on my TBR. That's not too bad. Okay, rolling for book number 1. We've gotten a 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Get an item prompt. A 1-word title. Roll 2 for book number 1. We have gotten a 1, which is an own. So let's go ahead and pull something from the Friday Cat Mug of Destiny, which I am insisting upon calling it now. Okay, let's go with this one. Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sulin Tan. Even though it doesn't want to focus, that's what it says. So let's do our haunt roll real quick. We have 4 omens in play now, which means as long as I don't roll under a 4, we're okay. And we got a 12, so we're safe. Rolling for book number 2. That is a 2. 1, 2. So we got a prompt to go with our item. Title starts with a randomly generated letter. That's going to be an interesting combo to come up with. Okay, so we got random letter generator. I'm going to pull that up real quick and we will find out what letter I need to find. This is going to be an interesting combo because of the 1-word title thing. I think this is going to make it kind of difficult, but it'll at least be fun to try and do it. So we've got random letter generator pulled up here. Let's see if I can hold it close enough that you can see it, and also that I can actually hit the thing. In. Okay, I'll see what I can do with that. So, a 1-word title that starts with a randomly generated letter. Rolling for book number 3. Well, before I dropped it, it was a 3, so we're gonna go with that. 1, 2, 3. And that one is a hope pick, so I get to decide whatever I want to read for that one. And now a 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, which is another hope pick. So books 3 and 4 are both ones that I get to decide. Cool. This really could not have gone better for me. So we're starting out with an omen, which was Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sulin Tan, and I'm actually pretty excited that this book came up. First of all, I'm glad that we didn't start the haunt. We didn't have to add a new card because I was not looking forward to adding an additional book for July. but also I'm just really excited that this particular book came up because I've seen so many people reading it recently. I've been hearing lots of really positive reviews for it. I've heard that the writing is really beautiful, and I'm just really curious to see where I fall on this because I have seen a couple of very negative reviews, but it seems like most people are loving this one, so I'm excited to get to it. I don't know a whole lot about it. I believe it's about a young woman whose mother is like exiled to the moon, and then she goes on some sort of journey to try and help her mother in some way, and that's pretty much all I know. That may not even be accurate, but I've just been hearing so many good reviews. There's been a lot of buzz about this book, so I'm excited to be picking it up. Then we got a really interesting prompt combo, which was a one-word title and a title that begins with a randomly generated letter. And the letter we generated was N, which I believe I have already inserted. Hopefully Editing Hope will have done that. So we generated the letter N, and to my complete surprise, I had 2 books on my shelf that actually fit this prompt. And the one I have chosen to read for July is Newcomer by Keigo Higashino. I know nothing about this other than it's the second book in his Detective Kaga series, and I really enjoyed the first book in the series. I don't think it's actually chronologically the second book, but it's the second one that was translated into English. So I read Malice. Sorry, my throat's a little funky right now from my allergies. I read Malice a couple of years ago now, I think, or maybe last year. No, I think it was 2 years ago. It was a little while back, and I really loved that one. I've read the beginning of this series and also the beginning of the Detective Galileo series, and of the 2, I think I actually like Detective Kaga better, even though Galileo is the more popular series from what I've heard. But I'm really interested to see how I feel about this one because I don't know that I've seen anybody else read this, so I haven't really seen any reviews at all. But I liked Malice a lot, so I'm really hopeful that I'm going to end up enjoying this one as well. I don't know anything about the story other than it centers around somebody, I think, who is a newcomer to, I suspect, Tokyo, because I think that's where the previous one was set. And then she gets murdered, and that's pretty much all I know. So really excited to pick this one up, in part because I loved the first one in this series, and in part just because I don't know anything about it. And I think it's going to be a fun time based on that prior experience. And then the last 2 things that we got were hope picks, which means I get to do whatever I want with these. So for those, I've chosen a couple of horror novellas I've really been wanting to read that I was planning to read for Summerween. So I've got The Scourge Between Stars by Ness Brown and The Salt Grows Heavy by Cassandra Kah. I've been highly anticipating both of these books. I read Nothing But Black and Teeth by Cassandra Kah when that came out and really enjoyed it. I think I was kind of the odd one out on that one. I've seen a lot of negative reviews of that book, but I was one of the people that enjoyed that one. So I've been really looking forward to The Salt Grows Heavy. And then The Scourge Between Stars, I don't know anything about, but the description gives me kind of alien vibes because it's about a woman who is the captain of a ship that is returning to Earth after a failed attempt to build a colony. And so that's happening, and then something begins to go awry on the ship, and they have some sort of intruder on the ship that is wreaking havoc, and that's making me think kind of like Alien, and I really love that movie, so I'm interested to see how this book is going to go. For this one, I believe it's about a mermaid and a plague doctor who go on some sort of adventure together. I think they end up in a creepy town full of creepy children, and that's all I know about this book. So I'm really excited for both of these. I've been eagerly anticipating them, and I think these are going to work perfectly for Summerween. There are, I think, 5 prompts for Summerween, which I could just look up because I have them. I have my Notion here for all of my reading plans. Okay, yeah, so the 5 prompts for Summerween are to read a book in the dark or at night, read a thriller, read a book set in the fall, read a book with orange or black on the cover, and read a manga, graphic novel, or novella. So I think I'm planning to read these for read a book in the dark or at night. I was planning to use The Salt Grows Heavy for that because it's the shortest one. I think it's a little under 100 pages. And then for manga, graphic novel, or novella, I was planning to read The Scourge Between Stars. I'm not sure what I'm going to read for the other 3 prompts yet. I've been kind of waffling on that. I would like to read You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight by Kaylin Barron this week, I think, because that one's coming out at the end of this month, so I'll have it well in advance of Summerween. But it's a kind of Friday the 13th-esque slasher that sounds like it's going to be really fun, and I think that one may work for a book with orange or black on the cover, because I think there's like a spooky dark house in the background and like a tree that's in shadow, and the character on the front has like black hair, so I think that'll work for that. So I don't know what I'm going to do yet for the thriller or the books set in the fall. I don't actually know if I have any books right now that are set in the fall that are horror books, but I will figure that out when I get closer to the time. These 3 are just the ones that I have so far kind of thought about reading for that week, and ones that I think will be easy for me to carry with me to the family reunion. So that's all that I'm planning to read in July. This really wasn't too bad, and I'm very excited about this TBR. So it's going to be all of these plus 1 ebook, and yeah, I think it's a really nice selection. It's definitely not intimidating in the slightest, and it really helps that I got those couple of hope picks where I got to decide what I wanted to read for them, because obviously then I went and picked the shortest possible things, but they're books that I knew I wanted to read anyway, and I'm looking forward to July. I think that despite doing this TBR very early, it's gonna be good. I think I'm gonna be excited to read these in July. So that is pretty much all I have for you today. I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, I hope you'll consider giving it a like, maybe even subscribing to see what comes next. I'm currently posting every Tuesday and Saturday, so there is more content coming soon, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.